Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Emily. So, I'd like to begin by going into a little meditation with you, a little time of reflection to settle down and be here in this beautiful presence that we've already received so much in this service through these beautiful songs and the music. So, I invite you to settle in, close your eyes if you like, and just go within. And let's begin by taking several deep breaths together. And we allow these breaths in and out to relax the body and allow us to feel this sense of support and relaxation. And we become very aware of our shared humanity. As the light of God which dwells with each one of us, allow yourself to feel that light in you, that beautiful little light spark of divine essence that is in you. And gently focus your mind on the feelings of gratitude. As you say, thank you, Spirit, for this awareness that the light of God, the divine spark, is me. And allow yourself to rest and receive this truth as fully as you can hold it. And let your attention gently fall on the innermost core of your being as you imagine a light beginning to glow and expand. And as the light of God, which dwells in you, gently focus your mind on this feeling of gratitude. Let yourself feel it. And we say, thank you, Spirit, for this awareness that the light of God, the divine spark, is me, and also in everyone I see. And so it is. So we can open and begin with an affirmation. I am becoming aware of the light I truly am, conjoined with the light in the world. So, light is our topic for today. And I'm so glad that Emily chose the song, This Little Light of Mine. It's one of my favorite songs. I remember singing that as a child and, uh, and imagining that little light inside of me and feeling it like joy. So, we think of light, there's lots of ways to look at light as a metaphor, for instance. Light can be seen as less of a burden. We're light. Or light can also be a beacon of safety or a guide. Or light as an attractor, something that attracts. These are so many different ways to use the word light. We can also talk about lightening our load, making things lighter, or lightening up as levity, joy. Or even we can say, wow, I got this light bulb moment. I got a light. Something came to me in realization. So it's used as a metaphor also for the spreading of wisdom, as in enlightenment. So, what is the purpose of a light? So, the metaphysical meaning of light is the understanding principle in mind. The understanding principle in mind. The beginning of the sacred text in the Bible, the first story, the first book is about Genesis. And the words are, let there be light. The illumination of the Spirit resides in the center of every person's being. In divine order, it always comes first into consciousness. You first have to see the light. It's the first thing that has to happen. And we will say things like, well, it dawned on me like a light. The light coming in from the sun in the morning on the earth is the dawn, which is how we begin to see because of this light of understanding. So, this understanding begins to shine within us and as us. So, I'm going to tell you a little story. Uh, August the 14th, 2003, I was in New York City. I was there with a group traveling and visiting the city, and uh, we were getting ready to go out to dinner that evening. And we were up in our hotel room. I was getting ready, and I started noticing uh, that there was a lot of, I could hear the traffic, the bottom, down on the street in New York. That's not unusual. You'll hear that. But it was unusual because it was a lot louder than normal. Lots and lots and lots of beeping of cars. And I want to say around 20 something feet up in the stories up in the air, up in the hotel room, looking down. And I looked down and I could see that there was a lot of cars stopped and there was like a traffic jam. And as I from the height that I was, I could look down and notice that this traffic jam went all the way down the streets in every direction. So it was something major that just happened. And I saw it happen. And I said, something happened. So we were in the room and there was a light coming from the window. So it was bright in the room. Then we tried to turn on the lights and there was no lights. So the electricity was gone. It was the great blackout of 2003, and I was there. So I thought, well, at least I'm here in the hotel room. I felt somehow safe being there. And I said, we'll just stay here. But then they came knocking on the door, and I opened the door, and there was a person there that says, get ready because we're evacuating the building. So what do you mean? We're evacuating the building? I'm safe here. I do not want to go down to the street where, all this chaos was going on. Remember, this is 2003. So there was this fear around what could be happening after 9/11. Everybody was a little bit, concerned about things like this. They said, no, what happens is that when there's a loss in power, then all of the security systems in the building no, don't work. They can't rely on them. So they have to evacuate everyone. So the guy says, so just get ready because we're going to come around with a light and walk you down the stairs. The elevators aren't working. So he left, and then I looked out of the door, and it was so dark in the hallway in that hotel, I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. And I thought, wow, it is really dark out there, and we're going to have to be walking out of there. So I started gathering some things together that I thought I was going to need, to get away, and I didn't know what was going to happen. And I looked in my purse, and I had one of those big bag purses, that are deep and dark, and it happened to have a little light attached to it, so that you could look at the bottom of your purse. So that little light, it was a little pin light. It was just like this one. That was what it was. That's as bright as it was. So I took that little light and I said, okay, well, I put it in my hands and I brought my stuff out. And then I looked out into the hall and I turned on the light just to see if it would illumine the hallway. And it did. It totally lit up the hallway. I'm like, wow, it was such a tiny little light. So then when the man comes back and was trying to get us gathered, out of the rooms and into the stairwell, he saw that I had my little light. He said, oh, good, you have a flashlight. He says, do you see where the door is? At the stairwell, it was just right across from the room where I was. And I said, yeah, I see it. He says, okay, so I'm going to have you stand there and everybody can follow that light. And then you can take them down. I'm going to go upstairs to get another group of people with my lantern. And I'm like, okay. So I turned on the light. Everybody could see it. We followed through into the stairwell. And then the door closed of the stairwell, and it was that little light lit the whole stairwell. And we went down floor by floor by floor by floor until we were there on the ground floor at the street level. So, of course, it was a lot of chaos, a lot of activity. People were all coming out of the hotels, and everything was kind of stopped in the city. We were lucky because the cars that were going to take us to our evening event had already arrived. So these were big cars. We were able to get in there. There was about 8 or 9 or 10 of us. And we were able to get into the cars, and there was air conditioning, which in August in New York was pretty nice to have. So we sat in the car, and I just kept observing, just keep looking. I kept hearing, just look around you. So instead of seeing a lot of fear and a lot of anger and a lot of craziness, what I saw was a kind of a circus carousel atmosphere. People were just enjoying, it was the cool part of the day. The restaurants had food. The pizza place across just started bringing out pizzas and giving everybody pizzas. And there was even a guy who was giving out flowers. And there was somebody who started playing music, and they were helping each other move through out of the way so that the cars who were going somewhere could go. And we just, we before we knew it, we were on our way to another place where they ended up taking us to New Jersey, where we basically watched the great um, event on television, like everyone else. We were to Jersey with them. We were just there. We were just there experiencing this thing. And here it is. Now we're seeing it from another point of view. And this little bitty light of mine actually got all these people down onto the street level floor, which is amazing. It was amazing. And it was a wonderful experience for me to remember that it doesn't have to be a big light to make a difference. It doesn't have to be a big thing to make a difference. So I'm going to take that into kind of a little bit of a lesson around 5 ways to let your light shine wherever you are, whatever you're doing. And I'm going to use the acronym LIGHT to help illustrate the 5 ways that you can let your light shine. So the first one is L for listen. Listen with intent to understand and empathize with others. To let the light show you the way. So you have to listen, you have to pay attention to what's going on. And also L is for lighten up. Lighten up with levity. Joy is an energy that is also contagious. So spread some of that around. I include. Include and invite. Include and invite others into your circle of grace. You're expanding the light to shine on all. It's like putting your high beams on, okay? Sometimes when you're not so sure about the distance, you need to put them on a little brighter so you can see a little further. In the book of Mastery by Paul Selig, he speaks to this. He says, the divine as you has chosen to incarnate as you, and it is the divine self who must be called on to show you the way. You are here not only for your own benefit, but for all those you may meet and may never meet, and on and on and on. I had that group experience. Everyone had their own version of it. Where did all these people end up? I don't know. Who were they? I don't know. Did they know who I was? No. But somehow, some way, we got through. G, give genuine compliments. By noticing the light in others, see their light. It might be just what they need to shine a little brighter. So give genuine compliments. Notice the light in others. H, help. Help where you can, with what you can, and nothing is too little. You are the light of the world. If you claim that right now and you say, I am the light of the world, and you claim that, then you act from that light. Eric Butterworth said, God can only do for you what it can do through you. So we're not here to just shine the light so people can see us. It's not about our personality self. You shine so that through you, others can see a greater light. a greater light, a source that is also available to them. In Matthew 5:16, it says, "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father, which is in heaven." Now, that sounds very religious, but if we break it down, we understand that by Father, what we mean is the source of all. It's from where we all came. It is the source of everyone here. And that is unitary consciousness. That is unified consciousness. That's what unity is all about. Now, T, think thoughts of possibility and positivity so that you are aligning to and amplifying the field of potential in any given situation. Everything is an opportunity. So, such simple things such as kindness and respect are always in fashion. They translate in every language, kindness and respect. Also, prayer. Prayer is a gift. And you don't have to tell everyone you're doing it, just do it. Pray, as in, I see the light in you. I honor the light in you. Now, I've talked a little bit before about the 4 levels of consciousness that we teach in Unity. The first level is victim, where we think everything's happening to us. And there were lots of people, I'm sure, experiencing that blackout in victim consciousness. And then there is victor consciousness, where we overcome, we figure out a way to get through the problem. At first, all those honking horns were probably victim consciousness really getting some leverage. And then they realized, guess what? We found out that it's not an attack. We're not under attack. It's just the grid. It went down. We've got some problems. Oh, okay, we can handle this. And we move into victor consciousness. And then the third level of consciousness is vessel consciousness. After a while, we start to understand that there is a way, there is something that we're here to give. And this is what was happening when they were bringing pizza out, and people were finding the way. And the guy told me to go ahead and take the light and bring people through. And, everybody is serving in vessel consciousness. And in vessel consciousness, we allow ourselves to be of service to the greater aspect of our expression, the Christ or divine spark in us. It's bigger than the small personality you, but it does serve through you. This is vessel consciousness. In Matthew, it goes on to say, a city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor does anyone light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. That is vessel consciousness. In the book, The Kingdom by Paul Selig, it says, the lantern that you are shines upon what it encounters. It does not judge what it sees and what it encounters. Its job is to illumine. This plane will not be healed from damning what we see. If you see what you see and you decide to exclude it from God, you've excluded yourself from God, because that has been your choice. You've separated yourself from the all that is through judgments. The distinct difference is you have decided what the light cannot shine upon, and in doing that, you are the small self who believes itself to be the arbiter of good and evil, or yes and no. We have a choice. We choose to align. We choose to serve as vessel consciousness with the light that we are. We choose to feed that light, to amplify that light, to find ways to stay in our joy, to lighten up, to help where we can, and to think the thoughts of expansion and possibility. So now I want to invite you to repeat another affirmation with me, and I'll post it and send it out. I have chosen to be the light where darkness has prevailed. I choose to see the light where I have been fearful. I choose to see the one before me as he, she truly is, an aspect of the divine, beyond what I would think, assume, or decide should be, based on my small self ideas born in history. I choose to be the light where darkness has prevailed. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. That is Namaste Consciousness. Thank you all.